So the previous examples that we have done, we have so far worked with SOQL. So the query is being done with from the Salesforce Object Query Language. And there's another query language that we use here, which is called SOSL, okay, which is very similar to SOQL, all right, and that's also a type of query. However, it allows you to do a search in all the tables, right? So you are allowed to perform a search on all the tables, and this uses a find statement. SOSL is Salesforce Object Search Language. Okay, it uses a find statement as compared to the select statement in the SOQL. Okay, and in SOQL you say select name from account. So this is the syntax, right? So you say select field name from object name, right? Herein, what you do, select string, find string. So this can be a string that you want to search. Okay, it does not have to be a field name. It can be a string that you want to search, or let's say search keyword, whatever you call it, in all fields or a group of fields, returning account, some fields from accounts, let's say name, type, industry. So this is how it works. Okay, so this is how our SOSL works. So that's the basically the basic syntax of SOSL. All right. So how is it helpful? It's helpful because it's able to perform a search on the entire database. So when I'm using a select statement, I have to be very sure about the object, right? So your select statement will not work if you do not define the object name. You always have to go and say that, okay, fine, select this from this object. However, if you do not know that which object we are talking about or where I should search something, then find statement helps. Let's say you're searching for a particular email ID. You do not know that email ID is in the leads object. So I have emails, right? In leads object, I have email. Contact object, there is email. Uh, Campaign member, there is email. So there are so many objects with the email ID. You might have some custom objects also with the email IDs, right? Now you have received an email. You just want to do a search on the entire database and find out whose email is that. So that can be of a lead, that can be of a contact, that can be of someone else, right? So that is something which is done using our find statement. All right. So find keyword in all fields or a group of fields. So you always don't have to search in all the fields. You can also do search in a certain group of fields. Returning which objects fields you want to return and what all fields you want to return. Okay, so this is the syntax. So let's do a small example with it. I'm also going to share the reference guide to SOSL for your review. However, we're going to do a very small example using SOSL. So what we will do is we create a search interface. Let's create a small search interface, and we will use SOSL query there. So let's say we want to have an interface where I have an input box and then I have a search button, Okay, and then I put the keyword here, I click on the search button, and based on the search performed, I get the results here. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So to do this small example, all that we have to do is we just need to go to, okay, let me quickly log in into Salesforce. Okay, so let's go to Apex classes. Let's create the class for it. Okay, the class is defined. What all variables I need here? Uh, I need a string which will be used as keyword. And I need a list of accounts which will be displayed as search results. So these two things are there. Keyword, list of account as search results, that's also there. Next thing that we need to do is have a get method for both of them. Okay, so we already have uh, two variables. One is the keyword which I want to search, and one is the list of accounts which will be returned as search results, right? And I have defined two get methods for both of them so that I can call them on the visual force page. One more method which I need is page reference. So which will be act as an action for this button, search button, right? For the public page reference search. No. Okay. Now this is where I have to write my query. Should return null. Right. So this is where I have to write my query, which is the search result equals to what, right? So in this case, we are gonna write an SOSL query. So we will not write an SOSL query because I do not know. I wanted to perform a search on the entire database, right? So I will write SOSL query here. Search results equals okay. So since an SOSL can perform a search on all the database and it can return data from any object, so you just have to define what this SOSL query is going to return. So I say search results list of accounts equals, and then write your SQL query here, SOSL query here. So it's the same find keyword in all fields returning account name type industry phone fax. Okay, that's it. Okay, fine. Now this is what it this is what the code is for my SOSL or for the search button. There's one more thing which is missing here, which we have not done in this program so far, is we have defined a keyword, okay, and we have used the keyword here. That's absolutely fine. But what we have not done here is we have not used a set method for the keyword. Okay, what I'm using is a get method. So get method is capable of getting the method the value of the variable to the page, but I want it the other way around as well. I want the value to be supplied by the end user, right? So I need a method which can take the value from the interface and set it to this keyword, right? So get method is only capable of getting the method value from of a variable from here and returning it on the page, right? So the returning keyword that I have already written the code for. But I also need to write a code, or I also need to make an arrangement where the value supplied on the user interface, it should be able to take the value from the UI and set it to the uh, keyword variable, so that this when keyword is being searched, yeah, so that when this keyword is being searched, it searches the actual string or keyword which is supplied by the end user, right? So for setting that value, I'm going to use a setter method. So setter method is a void method. It does not return anything. Like a get method returns value, set method is a void method. It does not return anything. So let me do that setting here. Public void, it's a void method, right? So void method will not return anything. Set keyword from this keyword is, okay. So define a void method, set keyword. Okay, this method needs we have defined a parameter for this method. This is a parameter, okay, which will be supplied. So string s is going to be the value which is supplied to this method. Okay, so this s will be supplied to this method, and in the next line I am setting that value of s to the keyword so that this keyword can be searched. That's it. Okay, so my code is ready, the class is ready, and the only thing that we need to do is we just need to go to the page and create the page. Okay. Okay. So we will first of all create a page block here. So my search input box and the button, both of them are ready. The next thing that we're going to do is we need a table to display the results. So I'll create an fx page block table. Value can come from search results. Okay. Alright. Okay, so this is the result section and this is where you should put the keyword and search. Now let's search for some keyword. United. Okay. It now displays you all the records with the keyword United. Okay. Now, do you see one thing? This express logistics and transport. Why this is being displayed? Does not have any word United. Why am I getting this?
Maybe the parent account has.
Yeah, please go ahead, one by one. Nirmala?
Maybe the parent account has united something.
No. Srinivas, what was your logic?
So it will search any of the character which is available in the account name. It can be letter N, not necessarily word United.
No. This is the answer.
In all fields.
Fine, so it will go and search that string in all the fields, and wherever it finds it, it will return the result. So let's actually see where we have unit this, what is that name? Express logistics. So let me go to this. record and see where exactly United is found. Yeah, United States. It's an address. Okay. So it searches in all the fields, and wherever it finds that word, it returns that record as a result. Okay. In case you do not want to do this kind of thing, let's say if you just wanted to search for the names, then you should have said in name fields. Then it's gonna search only in the name fields. Now if you perform a search, see, only the records with the United in the name, they are appearing now. Got it? So we have an option of controlling. Now the difference we understand between SOQL and SOSL, right? That SOQL performs a search on a defined object. So SOQL is something where you define the field, the object, and you be very specific in that. Okay, fine, go and perform a search in this object, or fetch me data from this object. I want these fields where this clause is met, right? So if I have to write an SOQL query, then I will be very very specific about field name and object name and everything, right? In SOSL, I have that liberty of just performing a search on the entire database in all the fields and stuff like that. However, what will that do? That will, to some extent, that's gonna hit my performance, because for obvious reasons, this query, the SOSL, is gonna take more time than executing an SOQL query, right? Because it's performing a search on the entire database. So while it takes more time to perform a search on the entire database, what we can do is we can reduce time by being more specific on the fields if we want to. It's not necessary that we'll have to do that. If my requirement is performing a search on all the fields and just get a result, that's fine. If that's not the case, and I know that I have to search only the name fields or any particular type of fields, then I should be doing that. Okay. So let me just show you the SOQL
Can
and
we
SOSL
perform,
difference, right?
Jeet,
Mhm.
can we perform search in more than one object?
Yeah, it's actually performing search in more than one object only.
So we are giving a list of account, right? Only in the account it is fetching, right?
No, it's searching all the fields, all the objects. It's returning list of accounts, because my search result, the return of results, I want an account. So you can actually perform this query to do a search in other, you know, to return other objects as well. So
Okay.
see, if you look into this query here, so this is returning account, right? You can return something else as well here. You can return contact, you can return leads, whatever you want, right? So in this example, we are returning account. So this query is capable of performing search on all the objects, and then finally, what do you want to return? That's up to you. Okay. So like I just wanted to check the accounts here. So I want to return the account. So I say returning accounts and which all fields from accounts. Right. Just give me a moment. Let me
Okay.
show you the SOSQL and SOSL reference guide. So there's a very nice documentation from Salesforce on SOQL as well as SOSL. Here is the link. I'm just putting it in the chat window. Can you guys please pick it up and save it? Okay. So you see this, The first is SOQL. So all that you need to know about SOQL in terms of basic queries, we know how to write. But in case you want to write a specific type of query and you want to know more about the syntax and everything, you will find it here. Okay, typographical convention, how it is written and stuff like that. Now the next is SOSL. So how SOSL is written, if you look into the syntax. So okay, so this is the syntax. Find what you want to find in search group. Okay, so you have certain search groups. These are the search groups. In all fields is what we did. You have the option of searching in the name fields. Then it will only search in the name fields. You know what name fields are, right? Every object has a name field. So it will only perform search in name fields. You can perform search on email fields. So then it will only search in the fields which have the data type as email. It can perform a search in the phone fields and the sidebar fields. Okay. If you don't specify anything, by default it's all fields. So if you just go here and don't write this, your query is okay. There is no problem with this. So even if you don't write that, then it will consider it as to be an all field, right? So syntax wise and everything is there. Returning, okay. Information to return the search is a list of one or more objects. Okay, so it can return multiple objects and within each object list of one or more fields. Okay, so that is the thing. You can put a where condition and order by and all those things. So other steps were, works like the SOQL query, just that this find statement and search, forming a search where is the important part. Okay, clear on this? All right. So let's do a small activity on this. Let's create a search interface to search, let's say, leads. Okay, so I just want to enter a name and search whether the lead exists or not. All right, so my team, before entering the lead, they just want to perform a search and check if the lead is already existing or not. Right, can you quickly do that? Same kind of thing for leads.